Yo, what's up everybody? You know how much I love connecting the dots across the globe, right? Well, get this, India and Ethiopia. Two places you wouldn't think have much in common at first glance. I mean, one's known for Bollywood and butter chicken, the other for coffee and, well, more coffee. But trust me folks, there's something fascinating going on beneath the surface. We're talking ancient connections, shared traditions, even similar looks. Could it be that Indians and Ethiopians are more like distant cousins than we ever realized? Let's be real, when we think about global connections we usually picture, like, McDonald's in every country. But India and Ethiopia? That's some next-level ancient history stuff. We're talking trade routes older than your grandma's secret cookie recipe. So buckle up people, because we're about to take a trip through time and across continents. We're about to uncover the surprising links between India and Ethiopia. Could they be distant cousins? Let's dive deep into the fascinating connections between Indians and Ethiopians. Okay, picture this. It's the 1st century AD. The Roman Empire is flexing, gladiators are doing their thing, and everyone's wearing togas. It was basically a sweaty toga party. But far to the east, something else is happening. The Aksumite Empire, centered in modern-day Ethiopia, is booming. And you know who their best customers were? That's right, the Indians. We're talking a full-blown trading frenzy happening across the Indian Ocean. The Ethiopians had gold, ivory, spices, basically everything you need to throw a lit dinner party in ancient times. And the Indians? Well, they had spices too. But they also had textiles, jewelry, and all sorts of cool stuff that made the Aksumites say, "Take our gold." Now here's where it gets really interesting. Historians believe that it wasn't just goods being exchanged. Indian merchants, those adventurous souls, actually settled in Ethiopia. I'm talking setting up shop, starting families, the whole shebang. And just like that, Indian influences started seeping into Ethiopian culture. We're talking food, customs, even language. Yeah, you heard that right, language. Linguists believe both languages share common roots in the Afro-Asiatic and Indo-Aryan families. Alright, let's talk about culture, that magical mix of music, dance, and awkward family gatherings that makes us who we are. And you know what? When it comes to India and Ethiopia, the cultural connection is so strong, you might start planning your next vacation to both places. First up, music. Have you ever listened to Ethiopian and Indian music side by side? No? Well, get ready to have your mind blown. Both cultures use these unique scales and rhythmic patterns that just get your head nodding. It's like they both have this secret musical language that only they understand. And get this, they even share similar instruments. The Ethiopian masinko, a one-stringed fiddle, sounds eerily similar to the Indian sarangi, a bowed string instrument. It's like musical twins separated at birth. Coincidence? I think not. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about dance, that universal language that needs no translation. In both Indian and Ethiopian cultures, dance is all about expressing emotions through intricate movements. Think Bharatanatyam in India, with its graceful hand gestures and powerful footwork, and Eskista in Ethiopia, known for its rapid shoulder movements and captivating energy. Both styles are mesmerizing to watch, and you can totally tell they come from a similar artistic DNA. And what about weddings? Oh boy, do these cultures know how to throw a party. Both Ethiopian and Indian weddings are legendary for their grandeur, vibrant colors, and rituals that have been passed down for generations. In both cultures, weddings are deeply spiritual, signifying the joining of two families and the continuation of ancient traditions. Alright folks, it's time to talk about everyone's favorite subject, food. And let me tell you, when it comes to culinary delights, Ethiopia and India do not disappoint. We're talking flavor explosions, spice combinations that'll make your taste buds sing, and a love for good food that knows no bounds. First up, let's talk about bread. Because what's a good meal without some delicious carbs, am I right? In Ethiopia, you have injera, a spongy, slightly sour flatbread made from teff, a supergrain that's been feeding Ethiopians for centuries. And in India? Well, they have dosa, a crispy, crepe-like pancake made from fermented rice and lentils. Both injera and dosa are staples in their respective cuisines, used to scoop up curries, stews, and all sorts of deliciousness. It's like they both looked at each other and said, you know what we need? A delicious edible utensil. But let's be real, what truly unites these two culinary giants is their shared love for spices. In Ethiopia they have berbere, a fiery blend of chili peppers, garlic, ginger, and a whole bunch of other spices that I can't pronounce. It's the spice blend that gives Ethiopian food its signature kick. And in India, well, they have garam masala, a warm and aromatic blend of spices like cinnamon, cardamom, cloves, and peppercorns. Both berbere and garam masala are testaments to the fact that when it comes to spices, more is always more. Okay, we've talked about culture, food, music, the whole shebang, but now it's time to get scientific, folks. Because it turns out the connection between Indians and Ethiopians runs deeper than just shared tastes in spices and music. We're talking about DNA, people. That's right, recent genetic studies have revealed some pretty mind-blowing findings. Apparently, Ethiopians and certain groups in South India share specific genetic markers. These aren't just random overlaps. We're talking about distinct genetic similarities that point to ancient migration patterns between Africa and South Asia. It's like finding out you're related to that celebrity you've always thought you looked like. Scientists believe that these genetic connections can be traced back thousands of years, long before planes, trains, and automobiles made international travel a breeze. Back then, people were migrating, exploring, and let's be real, probably looking for new and exciting places to set up shop. And as they moved, they took their genes, their culture, and probably some good recipes with them. But it's not just in our genes, folks. Take a look at people from Ethiopia and parts of South India side by side. You might notice some striking similarities in their physical features. It's a beautiful testament to the interconnectedness of humanity, and a reminder that we're all part of one big, messy, and utterly fascinating family. So, what have we learned today, folks? We've journeyed across continents, delved into ancient history, and uncovered some pretty mind-blowing connections between two cultures that, on the surface, seem worlds apart. Who knew that a simple cup of Ethiopian coffee and a plate of Indian curry could be the start of such a fascinating cultural exchange? But here's the thing about connections. They remind us that beneath our differences, our languages, our skin colors, our favorite spices, we're all part of the same human story. A story that stretches back thousands of years, filled with migration, trade, cultural exchange, and maybe even a little bit of accidental twinning. The connections between Indians and Ethiopians aren't just historical footnotes, my friends. They're living, breathing examples of how interconnected our world truly is. In today's globalized world, where it's easier than ever to travel, communicate, and share ideas, these connections are more important than ever. They remind us that diversity isn't something to be feared, it's something to be celebrated. It's what makes our world so vibrant, so fascinating, and let's be real, so delicious. Look, I'm not saying you're going to find your long-lost Ethiopian cousin on Ancestry.com tomorrow, but what I am saying is this: the world is a whole lot smaller than we think. We're all connected in ways we might not even realize, and sometimes the most unexpected connections are the ones that teach us the most about ourselves. India and Ethiopia, man, who knew? It's like finding out your favorite band secretly recorded an album with your other favorite band. So let's hear it for cultural exchange, ancient trade routes, and the power of human connection, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together.